Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome to another episode of the Tech Preacher Podcast. That's what I'm talking about, man. Listen, as promised, I'm making these podcasts every week. All right. So, look, man, I was talking to a viewer, and they just starting out the YouTube channel. They just starting out to be a content creator. And people come to me sometimes and they ask for advice. They ask for what's the startup cost and what should you do step by step in order to become a decent content creator. Listen, money is limited. I always think about this, right? When people come and ask me about starting being a content creator and the steps. And I want to make this podcast dedicated to that because a lot of people that start out as a content creator, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, however you want to start out, these tips is really good. I think if I had to do it all over again, and that's what I told a viewer. I was like, if I had to do it all over again, I would take these 5 steps on being a content creator, right? Because look, it's already difficult to get known, right? To get out there for people to watch you. First, you have to have this inspiration of, you know what, I have a lot to offer. Being a content creator, I want to be a content creator, and and that's all good. And so let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about some of the steps, right? I got 5 things that I thought about. If I had to start all over again, what would I do? How would I start? If I had a limited budget, right? When we talk about a limited budget, we're not talking about a massive budget. If you got a massive budget, this podcast probably not for you, but hey, you can listen to it anyway, right? I'm talking about a person that has a very minimum budget, but you could still be a very good content creator and you could still make very good videos. Well, before you start, let's think about this, right? Obviously the camera, right? Most people got smartphones. It don't matter if you got Galaxy, iPhones, Motorola, it doesn't matter. The first thing I would say, use your smartphone. Smartphone nowadays have very good image quality. And I'm going to tell you a reason why smartphones are really good in the beginning before you move up to you're spending, a crap ton of money on mirrorless cameras or high-end professional cameras, smartphones. And I'm going to tell you why a smartphone is good when you first start out. First of all, you don't have to pay for anything. Smartphone is something that you got in your pocket right now. Again, it doesn't matter what kind of phone you got. Most people that has smartphones in 2025 have decent smartphone cameras. It doesn't matter. Use your smartphone. And you got to get a tripod. Obviously, you got to set it up somewhere. Even if you don't want to spend any money on the tripod, you have to find a way, whether or not you set it up on books, something that you can have a talking head type of video. And I'm going to tell you one of the biggest advantages of having a smartphone when you doing content creation. You can do all your B-rolls. You could do your talking head part. You could do a lot of things. You could film the entire video with your smartphone, and you have everything that's saved on your device itself. Obviously, you have to get it offloaded to your computer, but smartphone, because the smartphone gonna give you the best image quality at that time for free. You ain't got to spend no money. If I had to go all the way back, which I did, by the way, when I first became a content creator, I used a smartphone, and the smartphone that I used was terrible. I mean, I think I used either old iPhone or a Pixel, not a Pixel. It was a Nexus 6 or something, or maybe an old Nexus or something like that. And so when I was recording myself, it was bad image quality, but you know what? Smartphone gave me the best at that time, right? I mean, I'm 10 years in. So I did use a smartphone. If I had to go back, I would still use a smartphone today if I wanted to become a content creator, right? So smartphone, that's number one. You got to use your smartphone, people. And I always say this, utilize your device to the full of its potential. You got pro mode. You have all kinds of different things on your device that you can use. Use it. Use your smartphone. Okay, now, the second thing on the list is audio. I'm going to tell you, I don't care how the image quality looks on your smartphone. I don't care how the image quality look on your video when you first starting out. But I care about audio because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I could watch a video that have subpar visuals, right? I can watch a video if it have good audio, because I can turn my device screen off, or I can turn my monitor off, or I can sit and listen with my headphones. I can listen to the content creator and I can visualize what he trying to deliver. I can listen to the content creator and I can know exactly what he's saying by visualizing it. I don't have to see the video, but I can visualize it because of great audio. Listen, great audio is probably the most important thing. And on this YouTube channel, I have made so many videos about clean audio, about buying wireless microphones for under $100, some right above $100 that give you great audio experience. I have videos on my channel, and I promise you that if you use a smartphone and you plug in these wireless microphones, you would get 3 times the amount of quality out of that video, right? I really want people to focus on audio versus video, right? Versus visuals. Because audio, have you ever sit and watch listen to an audio book? You know, how professionals sound when it come down to audio. Or when you watch your favorite content creator, like me, right? And you listen to the audio, you hear how clear and how pristine that it sounds. And you could, again, you could turn off the video part and you can listen to that content creator and you can listen to how good that audio sound. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm recording this in a well-treated room. Yes, I spent a lot of money to treat my room. I have sound blankets all around me. I have carpet on the floor. I got soundproofing all on my walls. I got sound blankets everywhere. So yes, my audio has so like in my studio it's very quiet. So I do a decibel monitor in my room to see how quiet that I can make this room without any echo. And I got it down to like nearly 1 or 2 decibels. I mean, it's under 10. Even with all my lights on and the fans blowing on my lights. And you get that very good audio just by doing that. Audio. And when I say sound blankets, it brings me to the next thing. If you're going to get external audio, which I would recommend getting external audio for the cheap, right? They got the new Boyas out, right? Or they got the new Comicas out. Sounds so good in a very, very budget. You don't have to spend a lot of money, folks, to get great audio, right? Now, if you want to step up to the big boys, like something like this, or SM7B, or maybe a Sennheiser 416, but yes, you're going to spend hundreds of dollars on that. But then you have to think about audio interfaces and stuff like that. And that brings the cost up a little more. But if I was starting with a light budget, I wouldn't even think about none of this stuff right there. I would go with a wireless solution, or something like that, and go relatively cheap. I've got a lot of videos on my YouTube channel with audio gear, and I promise you, you would step up your quality with using external audio. Now, a lot of people will say, well, why don't use the phone mics? And the reason why is because if you have your phone at a distance in an untreated environment, it would sound bad. I don't know how many videos that I've watched that people use the smartphone audio only, right, to record their videos. And they are in an untreated environment and they do not use external audio and their microphones sound really bad. And I turn off a lot of those videos because I can't take the echo and the muff, and because nowadays you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to do that. But yeah, a lot of people do that. And I preach about audio. And I'm going to tell you, try your best to get audio right. Now, let's talk about number 3, lighting. Now, as you know, lighting makes things flow, right? It makes the background look good. As I'm sitting in my studio, I have literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got like 8 lights that's on right now. The lights that's behind me, I'm using RGB lights to light up my background. And that's a real background, not green screen, by the way. A lot of people would be thinking, that's green screen. No, that's a background, and I have lights that's pointing towards the background. And not only that, but lighting is important. I have a light right here that's pointing on the side of my face, like right here. And then I have a light right there that's kind of giving it a little more light up top. And then that the tech preacher sign right there, you see that it giving it a little shadow right there? Right? If you're looking at this, if you're listening to this podcast, you're not seeing this, but if you look at the video part, you see that, and it's all done by design. I have my lights to the point where I wanted it focused on a little me right there and kind of have a little dark shade right there. I don't have too much of a dark shade because I do have an extra light on right here. But if I turn that light right there, it gives it a little more character. Right? Now, the lights that I'm using professional lights, but I would tell you that lighting, you don't have to go all out the way I have it. I would tell you to have some form of lighting on your, to try to have a little more light on one side of your face and a little more dark shadow on the other side of your face to kind of give it that good effect. Now, you could go with one light. If you have a regular light in your room, right? A lot of people buy ring lights. If you don't have the cachet, if you don't want to do ring lights, that's fine. But you have to have, if you change your bulb in your room to a high voltage, high wattage bulb, and get something at about 5,600 Kelvin. Think about this, 5,600 Kelvin. A lot of lights that people buy, it's a lot of cool lights, or some of them they buy, it's about 3,800 Kelvin, which give you that warm effect. But I would say 5,600 Kelvin or 5,400 Kelvin, you want to have that. So because my lights right now is about 5,600 Kelvin. All my lights is 5,600 Kelvin except the RGB lights. So that's something that you got to remember. Lights, you want to have that lighting on your face. So when you filming yourself, you want to have that good clarity. You're using your smartphone. You got the great microphone. Now you got that nice light. And whether or not you have one light that's in your room, you know what I'm saying? I've seen people that have terrible lighting, right? And listen, you don't have to have RGB lights the way I got it, but at least have some type of lighting to light yourself, at least your face. And if you doing a talking head video, you want to light half the body a little bit or whatever. But you want to have the nice professional look, even though you don't want to spend professional money. So you can do that. And look, I have my whole studio is with GVM, right? So I use a lot of GVM lights because they are very good professional lights, but that's down the road. You don't have to do that. But a nice little ring light and a nice little, make sure that you got a nice little light that's about 5,600 Kelvin and you will be spot on. So lighting is very important also. All right, now let's talk about video preparation. It's important because look, you got the camera, you got your smartphone ready, you got your mics ready, you got your lights ready. Now you're ready to hit the record button. But okay, what am I going to talk about? And that's where the video planning come in at, right? I'm going to tell you, I see this a lot. I've done this. I've seen people turn on their cameras and try to shoot videos and they're unprepared. Think about that. You're unprepared when you shoot a video, right? Before you turned on the camera, before you hit the record button, you had it in your mind, everything that you want to say. But when you turn on the camera, your mind go blank. It happened to the best of us, right? Your mind go blank. So what do you do? Okay, here's what you do, right? I use teleprompters. You don't have to use teleprompters. Teleprompter is an extra cost if you don't use a teleprompter. Just say if you're doing a talking head video like me, right? You can have notes. I'm going to give you an example. If you're watching a video, right down here, I have my iPad right here. And on my iPad, I have bullet points, right? Even though you're not seeing this on camera, but I have bullet points. And as I'm making my videos, as I'm making this podcast, I have bullet points where I can refer myself that so I can keep up with what I'm saying. Now, when I usually make a video, I have a full script typed. Now, you can also do that on like an iPad. You can do that. And that means that you can have a full script typed and you can have it right in front of you The camera don't have to see that part of the video, a part of your desk, and you can have a full script where you can reference yourself as you recording the video. That's very important because having that professional type of video, it brings a lot. So think about this. Okay, you got your smartphone. Go give you the best quality that you can. Use the rear camera, by the way. Don't use the front-facing camera. Use the rear camera. The second thing, you got great audio because you're using external audio. Okay, that's two things. The third thing is lighting. That means you got good light on you, right? Right on the 45-degree angle, pointing on the face. You can have a secondary light if you want to. If not, you don't have to. But have something to kind of have the face looking good, right? Give it a good presentation when it comes down to the lighting. The fourth thing, right, is video preparation. Know exactly what you're doing. If you're reviewing a product, have bullet points about your thought process, right? Even if you have to stop the video and make another one, even if you have to splice them together, you don't have to do one take videos. You don't have to do, okay, I want to do this whole review with one take. You don't have to do that. What you can do is you can do multiple videos and put them together in your video editing software. If you don't, you can edit on your phone, however you want to do it. And you could do that. And instead of having jump clips, right? Some people like to have jump clips in their videos. You could go to B-roll. How do you do B-roll? Okay, use the same smartphone that you have and have B-roll. What is a B-roll? Putting a product on the desk and taking it and panning it around. That's how you do B-roll, by the way. You just take your smartphone, put the product on the desk, and you just kind of pan around. All you have, if you're doing a smartphone review, you could have a smartphone on. You could be kind of working your smartphone as you filming the B-roll. So I would say, 5 to 10 clips of B-roll for every video, which will give the viewer more of as you telling the story, as you telling that story, you giving the viewer, right, a visuals of what you're trying to say. And that's very important. So B-roll preparation, try to get bullet points. Bullet points. And again, on my top-down shot, I have bullet points, right? There you go. I got bullet points. I got y'all guys to see this, right? And as I'm making this video, as I'm making this podcast, I'm looking at my bullet points because that's what I wanted to discuss on this podcast. And that's what you want to do in the video. If you don't have a teleprompter, then you don't believe in teleprompters. A lot of people say, well, I could go off the dome and stuff like that. That's fine. A lot of people can go off the top of their head. They can know exactly how they want to do their videos and stuff like that. Me, on the other hand, I feel like when I do more professional videos, if I would do voiceover videos, if I want to do a lot of different things, I have to have a teleprompter because a teleprompter keeps me focused on what I need to discuss in the video. Now, I do go off script. Like, I don't really be 100% robotic on a teleprompter, but I keep the video flowing using the teleprompter. And again, the teleprompter is an additional cost. So I'm trying to keep this as budgety as possible. All right. Fifth thing. This is something that I don't like, but I do this. Not all the time, but I sometimes do this. In order to be seen as a content creator, thumbnails and titles is probably the most important part. You think about that. If you make a video, I'm a tech reviewer. So if I make a video about the Galaxy S25 Ultra, right? If I put that in the title, nobody go watch the video. And the reason why is because if I just say Galaxy S25 review, and you have hundreds of content creators that's using that pretty much the same title. And then if you have a generic wallpaper, most people will just keep scrolling and your click-through rate will be very low and stuff like that. So what's the alternative here? I hate to say this, clickbait titles and clickbait thumbnails. Now, you might say, well, don't every YouTuber or viewers are against clickbait? Yes and no. Most of your high-end content creators will do some sort of attraction. It's sometimes it's not clickbait, but they want to have some type of something to attract you to watch the video. That's why you see large reactions, right? That's why you see somebody that be disappointed, or you see somebody with thumbs down and they got a negative type face. A lot of people call that clickbait. I call that giving a reaction to the video so people can click on it. And listen, to be honest with you, negativity always outwin positivity. I'm gonna tell you that, right? Negativity always outwin positivity. So negative videos will always probably get the more attraction versus positive video. We are in a society that people always want to look at the bad stuff first, then before they look at the sunshine and roses type stuff. People always want to know what's your problem about the device before you talk good about the device. So negativity is always the winner. I don't like it. So when you're making your thumbnail, you have to make it exciting. You have to make it flashy. You got to have it edgy to the point where it's, people will maybe make a comment and say it's clickbait. But it ain't clickbait. You're just trying to get your click-through rate right. And it's tough, right? So that's something that you got to think about. Now, I use vidIQ for my titles, right? Now, when I use vidIQ for my titles, I tell vidIQ to give me exciting, edgy type of titles. So that's why my titles be very like it pops, right? Beast mode and stuff like that. I make a lot of videos and I try to put the shocking truth about X, Y, Z. A lot of people call that clickbait, the titles. But what we try to do is we won't attract people to watch our videos. And we are in a society that type of stuff is clickable. People don't understand that. People always believe that if you have a good audience, if you have a good viewership, it doesn't matter what you post, people go watch it. That's not the truth. Even your diehard people sometimes won't click on it because A, they didn't get the notification, or B, if they're scrolling down YouTube and they're going up and down and they see your title and thumbnail, and if it's boring they may not click on it and watch it. If you want to be somebody that just want to be on this platform, right? You got to decide who you want to be. Who are you going to be, right? Are you going to be the person that go pop open the camera, do the right thing, be real about it all the time? Or are you going to be that person that chase hype, chase views, chase this and chase that, and be fake and phony and don't care about your viewers, don't care if you lying to them or not, you don't care about this and don't care about that. Or you looking for the views and the eyeballs, you want to get paid. You want to get paid because views bring in the money. I do understand that. But at the end of the day, you can only be fake for so long. You can only be fake and phony for so long, right? And the realness come out and people go turn on you. People go, if you decide that you start out fake and you decide to turn a new leaf and want to start being real, then you go lose half your audience because they bought into the fakeness. They bought into the hypeness, right? And all of a sudden you turn a new leaf and you want to do the right thing, you have a lot of people ain't gonna like you for that. So keep it real day one, stay real, be transparent, and people go understand and like you for your transparency and your realness. Even if you make a mistake, call yourself out. Even if you make a mistake, it's okay to apologize. Even if you say something that you clearly made a mistake about, apologize. Your viewers will understand that apology. I promise you that. All right. I'm back. Oh, yeah. Listen to that. Thank y'all guys very much for watching another episode of the Tech Preacher Podcast. I like doing this stuff, man. I like having those conversations with you guys. And I got a lot of entertainment coming for you guys on this podcast. I'm setting up a whole new different era of how I'm going to do podcasts. And I'm going to want y'all to follow me on this journey. I gave up on podcasts for a few months. I've been busy. I'm still busy, by the way. But you know what? I need to get my podcast back in there because a lot of people love to listen to my thoughts and opinion. And people say, well, Easy, where the podcast? You've been gone for weeks. I'm back, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. So thank y'all guys very much. We're going to see y'all next week. Same bat place, same bat time, baby. Later. Oh.